Discovering yourself. It gives you opportunity to discover what you are really meant for. That is what Summit is.
Environmental Summit is organized by students around different universities, and this time our university at BTH here, we are hosting it. The expectation of this world student environment for me is to be able to learn from other students, and also the delegates to take this back home and solve issues in the environmental issues that we're having, and to be able to have a friend in the end and to have fun.
That is the plantation, the sun, the sea, and a place to have fun.
It's a very beautiful place, and it has more than 30 islands, and it's very beautiful, green, and every time fresh air, sunny. It's perfect place in summer, and it's great place to study. So I love Kaskrona a lot.
Preparation is like climbing a mountain. We have all the gear and we can see the summit, and all of us will be there on time to make sure that all the delegates reach that summit and have great fun. For you to be well prepared for the summit, bring along with you one bag of humor, one bucket of humility, and a ton of humanity.
We are waiting for you till last year. We are working on your program. We are working on having as much fun as we can, and we will have a great program for you according to the summit, and we have great food waiting for you. Just welcome. We want to know you.
Banking Institute of Technology is a gem.
It's a great platform. Before coming here, I didn't know that BTH is so international university that I can meet so many people from all over the world.
Should I agree with it or disagree?
Whatever you like.
I read Jared Diamond, his book on collapse. He thinks we're doing it wrong. He thinks that we're on the wrong track. We have to change. We can't go on conserving what we are now because we're destroying our habitat. We're depleting our natural resources, and we're polluting our water and our air.
I was amazed to see, and I didn't expect so many young people. I mean, these are like young.
I think that the fact that folks are coming from around the world, committed to throwing themselves deep into building community gaining new knowledge, cross-pollinating information is absolutely fantastic, and it's a model that I hope is going to spring up in multiple places around the world, so that we see a World Student Environmental Summit actually happening simultaneously in different countries, so that people don't have to travel and more people can participate.
But if government, would they ever do that? I'm paying you, so I'm definitely going to control you. You're riding on my money, so don't ask me not to control you. And this is going on, and this is going to go on, as long as we don't have a huge public support coming for us and saying that you don't need government support, we're supporting you. And just tell us, are we allowed to write anything which will serve the better good? This is a serious embargo there, because if there is contradict,
I think a harmonic after effect of the agricultural revolution. Diamond, he wrote a book, Guns, Germs and Steel, that you may have heard of. And he went to, I think it was PNG, Papua New Guinea, and he met this guy, Yali. Yali was a public servant. Yali asked him a really interesting question. He said, why do you Westerners carry so much cargo? You know, these guys come in with these huge suitcases and four-wheel drives and all this stuff. What do you need all this stuff for? He says, my people go out hunting and they take a spear, kill something or eat. You know? So Diamond started thinking about cargo. Why do we have this materialism?
That has created incredible power and impact on the ground, because companies don't have to be different than they are, and NGOs stop trying to force them to be different than they are, and just got together with the same objective of improving the livelihoods of smallholders in West Africa for the cocoa sector, for example, or improving the livelihoods of Kenyan tea farmers, because that's in everybody's best interest. But for companies, it's a different reason than for the NGOs and the governments involved. So what we're going to get into today is essentially just the communication side of doing that work. It's not about program design. It's not about developing structures where these different entities can be aligned. It's just this.
I think creative is absolutely the right thing, because I think the moment we're living in is incredibly profound. This is a moment that actually the old world has really stopped working, and more and more what we don't need is commentators, what we don't need is rhetoricists, what we don't need is consultants, we need builders. We need people that are going to build the new world. And actually the opportunity to build it is right there and viscerally visible in front of us right now. So I think the theme is absolutely spot on.
Well, I think it's the most interesting theme you can have, because it's when you have creation, it's proactive. So you try to create something rather than just react on the facts. So I think whenever you start working on creation of something, I think it's the most inspiring way to do things. I love the team.
think it's extremely well organized. It's been done with a very small team who are very dedicated, very hardworking and very committed. So I think in terms of organization, everything seems to be running like clockwork. Or if it isn't, then we don't see it. I'm sure there are stresses involved in every organization effort, but it's run really well so far. One suggestion I feel could help future versions of this summit is to involve more people from industry, because what I felt communicating with the attendees, with the participants, is that they really want to have a finger on the pulse of what is happening in the world.
So one suggestion. My one suggestion is, I think you boldly get rid of the word environmental summit and replace it with the new economic summit. Because I think what we're talking about is a new economics, and not about a subset problem. This is a superset.
There's always room for improvement, and I think one thing that I feel very much here locally is that it would be very nice to have other people attending also, business people, local community, etc.
To pay. So these are people that have a high level of comfort transacting on the net, but yet they get all their bills in the post. Now that is surely an anomaly. And what we realized when we looked at the problem was that the alternatives don't work. And that is why people who are perfectly good people who care about the environment don't convert to receiving electronic bills. Now what we identified was that businesses all wanted to pull people to their websites to check bills, and seriously, who needs an extra user ID and password? Nobody, right? I don't need an extra user ID and password. So what businesses had not figured out was that people might be happy coming to their websites to do other stuff, check on latest promotions for mobile plans, change their
is the value, it's the value for me. Another factor is the value is that this one doesn't break down, which the them did for me once every year. I basically wore them out. This one I can keep for 3 years. So it's actually a cost statement also. But the companies that are focusing value just realizes that I said they're driven by business, okay? That the value-driven companies, they have the possibility to actually charge more for the stuff they're building. So you don't just put in the sum of what the components cost and then add labor and then that's the price. You can add something else. That's the value. And that becomes very important. And within value drivers, you also have something else.
So I'm really interested in data visualization stuff that's been going on in STEM in San Francisco, and how they talk about visualizing data and ecosystems in more powerful, progressive ways that allow us to cognitively see the problem in different terms. So I think we have to get further into this conversation and get into the depth of this conversation, which I think where the challenges lie. I probably haven't